guys, it's Rachel with Furry Life Creations. So today I want to show you guys how to epoxy 4 cups at the same time. So I already have my epoxy ready to go. I'm just going to give it one last good little spin here. Everything looks really, really great. I'm sorry it's kind of dark down here. My bulb went out, and the way I have the camera positioned, if I turn my lamp on, you're not going to be able to see. So I normally try to stick with the same color when I do all 4 cups. Sometimes that doesn't happen. Sometimes I get a couple different colors going at the same time. So I just try not to let them drip on top of each other. And also I do the most similar colors at the same time, and then if I need to change out my glove, I do. So my turner is not in the best working condition right now. If I keep it spinning, you'll see why. So I do not spin my epoxy, and even if it was working, I don't spin. I have these little trays down here to catch the extra epoxy that drips. They work out great. I get these from the dollar store. And I'm using pool noodles today, and then I do have one over here that has a football on it. I kind of mix it up. So this is how you do 4 cups at one time. Super simple. Let's go ahead and get started. And I just stabilize mine because, like I said, my turner is not in the best working condition right now. And then I have 3 cups that have fine glitter, and then 1 cup that has some chunky on it. So I will do the 3 with the fine glitter at first, and then I will do the chunky last. And I am dipping my fingers. I was going to pour. I was trying to think if I wanted to pour or not. I'm not, because I don't want to get it all over my cup. And also I'm using the same color on all of these, so it doesn't matter if some of the glitter gets in the epoxy or not. So I'm just making sure I get a really good coverage on this right here. And I do give my cups an extra amount of epoxy just because I want to have good coverage on it, and I just let some of it drip off. And I do like to run my fingers down my glove to get the extra epoxy that's sitting on my gloves off as well. I'm going to make sure I get the bottom of this. I did do my butts on this, so they are ready to go. And I do have tape over my button on my turner, but I am just going to do it with my other hand so I don't get epoxy all over it. I'm going to pull this out while it's turning because it wants to drip. I'm going to pass this cup because I don't want to do this cup yet. You can see why I do not keep my turner turning. It gets caught right there, and I don't like it. It messes with my cups a lot. You guys, epoxy in a cup is super simple. I was so scared to do it at first. I wasn't sure that I wanted to make this step in my business, but it makes your cups look so much better. It seals your cups amazing, better than anything I've tried. And once I got the hang of it, it was so super simple. I mean, my first cup was horrible only because I did not really know how to mix the epoxy. And after watching some videos and rereading the instructions, I was able to figure out how to mix it. And then I was good to go, and I don't think I've ever had any trouble since then. The only issue I have now is my turner doesn't want to work. And we made this turner, so I think I'm going to buy one and see how that works. Maybe the ones I buy will be better than the one we made. And we've tried fixing this turner like 3 or 4 times, and just nothing we do works. So I think we've kind of given up on this turner. I'm just making sure I don't fill any rough spots that don't have epoxy on them. And then I'm going to go ahead and do my butt. And this one dips in, so it's a little bit harder to do, but not too bad. Alright, we're ready for the third cup. I'm just going to catch that epoxy that's dripping this time. So you want to be careful when you get to this point that you don't let the cup sit like that. Because while you're epoxying, what's going to happen, see if I can get it to do it. While you're trying to do this cup, this one is going to drip on you, just like that. And if you're not careful, it will drip on your actual skin. So I'm going to bring this other cup up just a little bit higher so it's just like that. And I'm just going to pull these trays out a little bit more and do it high up because I don't want the other one to drip on me. And I'm just holding it stable with this one hand. I don't normally wear a glove on the other hand. I don't normally get epoxy on it. But if you feel the need to, you're more than welcome. And I do make sure I want to leave a good amount for my last cup of epoxy, just because that one does have chunky glitter. And I have noticed that chunky glitter takes a little bit more epoxy than the regular ones, than fine glitter. I do take my hand and scrape it on the edge if I have a lot of epoxy that I'm just having trouble getting off, just to get it on there on the cup. Alright, now that I've done all those, we are ready just to roll over and do the chunky glitter one, which will be super easy as well. Alright, and you don't need to change your glove out because I have a little bit of green. I don't know if you can really see it. Let me let that drip and I'll bring my hand over. I have some green on my glove, and I don't need to change gloves because I do have the fine glitter up here at the very top, and then it's chunky at the bottom. So I don't need to change my glove out for this. I should have put a little bit of tape right here around this edge. I didn't. That's not a big deal. I can do it without it. I am going to pour over this one because it takes a lot more glitter, or a lot more epoxy than the other glitter. And I am going to be kind of gentle at the top since I didn't tape it off. And it's okay if some of that chunky gets up at the very top, only because this is not one that there wasn't a part where I didn't want the chunky glitter. I kind of wanted it everywhere. But I didn't want the whole thing covered. So if you didn't tape off, be careful at the top that you don't get the epoxy where you don't want it. and it will even out a little bit, but because of how my turner leans, it runs downward, and so I should be okay. Just want to make sure that the lid will still fit on that pretty good. Which I'm fairly confident that the lid will still fit on that perfectly fine. One thing, I just pushed those trays over because I realized that the cup all the way over here at the very edge was not, the tray was underneath it, and so if it drips, it's going to drip on my table. I'm not too sure if it already dripped or not. If it did, it's fairly easy to clean it up. It's just kind of annoying. But I also want to be careful that if it drips over here, it's going to catch it still. Okay, so I have a very good coverage so far, so now I'm just going to come over here and get the butt of it. And I'm just going to give it a quick turn, see if I see any spots. If I see any spots, I'm going to even it out just a little bit. And give it some coverage if it doesn't really have any. Alright, it looks pretty good to me. So I do have a little bit left, and I'm just going to let it come out over this chunky, since it has a hard time getting coverage anyways. And that's it, you guys. That is how you epoxy 4 cups at the same time. Fairly easy, fairly simple. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe.